So welcome. It's today, spring equinox. It has happened. Happened this morning at about 4 a.m. my time. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit of a boost. It's my prayer. Let's call in sacred space. Let's take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're just going to drop those grounding cords down, send our roots down into the earth. And then inhale, draw that earth energy up, up, up through your body. Send it up and out through the top of the head, connecting with the heart of the divine above us. And then inhaling, drawing that cosmic energy back down, sending it all the way down into the earth, activating that as above, so below flow. Then connecting with that flow. Breathing in, breathing out, activate the as within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give such great thanks to be here on this physical planet, in a physical body, doing this sacred work. Moving to the south, we welcome water and clear, clean, current emotions. We welcome love, joy, flow, abundance. Moving to the west, we welcome air, mind, focus, clarity, all of our guides, angels, allies, and helpers. And moving to the east, we welcome fire, movement, passion, divine right action. Moving to the center, we welcome our divine feminine and our divine masculine in sacred right relationship. We call that beautiful energy down through our bodies. We call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. And we welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls into the circle. We ask that all of these energies be with us, pray with us, dance. I got to find my music. I just had it. There it is. Dance with us for our mutual benefit. Oh, here we go. We're going to dive right in. Um, so once again, I tell us to do this every time, but I feel like it's necessary, especially now. So all of you just put your hands on your hearts, close your eyes, and just settle. Just take a big deep breath and drop whew, down into your body, down into your soul, and let the bigger part of you, the part that knows why you're here, even when you might have forgotten, to let that part just hold you and settle down and remind you that everything is going to be okay, because it is. And just breathe into that and settle. So this morning at about, it was 4 o'clock my time. I'm sure there's people all over the world here, so it has happened for all of you a few hours ago. Um, the sun went into Aries, which indicates spring equinox, the beginning of a new sun cycle. In many traditions, this is New Year. And, what we've been doing since January is just kind of playing. And that's what it feels like, getting ready for it. But this is when we plant. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, this is when we have that big thrust of energy to do things. And for about 3 days, a little bit before, a day before, then today, and even tomorrow, the days and nights will be equal. So this is the time, if you can afford to buy an egg in the United States, um, you can get them to stand on their ends. You can get them to stand up. I used to do that and take pictures of it and put it out on Facebook. Um, so so it's a real thing. It's a real thing, physiological thing happening on this planet. And there's other physiological things that are happening. It's when the sun moves around the Earth's equator. So it's like right in the center. That's why we call it equinox, right? And when it does that, it squishes in the that very thin veil that actually protects the planet. So not only, we talk about it, the veil's thin, so we get a lot of guidance, but from a physical standpoint, that's the thing that we've been beaten up with all of our, um, you know, emissions. That's the thing that is thinning, it's that electromagnetic field around the earth. So right now, it's very, very skinny. And many of us, at least on this side of the pond, um, I have noticed that the wind is just intense. That's because it's not just earth wind, that's solar wind, because all of those solar flares are hitting that very thin film that protects us from space. You know, there's been all these astronauts out in space, and they're enclosed in a little chamber because their physical bodies couldn't handle the atmosphere that's outside of that. Our physical bodies and our planet couldn't handle the atmosphere outside that thin veil. So, what happens now, though, is that during yes, winds in Colorado, all through that midsection, maybe up and down of the United States, the winds have been almost tornadic in some places, just really intense. I just wake up every morning and hope there's not a tree in the middle of my house. So the other thing that's happening is that there's also cracks in that little veil that widen at the March equinox. So that creates portals where more light can come in. But also what that means, more, light is information. So more information, more downloads. And right now, we're going to talk about this in a minute, but right now, we are right between two eclipses, a lunar and a solar. And so all of that is about inward work. And even though Aries is going to make us want to go out and plant the garden and do all the things and clean out the drawers, it's like we have to focus in here. And this is all by design to get us to go inward. And really, this is where we make the changes necessary for whatever we want to outpicture in the world to outpicture. And if we've been setting intentions, and it hasn't happened, it's in here that we need to clean out. So this is really, even though we may not like it, and I'm right there with you, it is a gift to get us ready because, and I'm going to show you on the chart here in just a minute, Neptune went right up next to the sun. This is the last time this is going to happen in our lifetime. And this hasn't happened for 13 years for us. So once we get here, then Neptune is, it's a big planet. It takes a long time to move. So it's going to move into Aries, and it hasn't been there for a few years, a lot of years, since the Civil War. It's going to move there and be there for 100 or so years. So that's going to be different. Anybody that's on this call right now, we have never been here when Neptune was in Aries. So we don't know what that feels like. And I think it's Saturn is going to move there soon. And I'm going to show you on the chart. It's moving, it's getting close. It's going to take it a little bit longer. But as those things happen, we're looking at a whole new playing field. It's like clear the decks and start anew. And so it really is a golden opportunity for us to do that. And this is going to give us the guidance that we need. It's an opening for about 48 hours that we can really access. The other thing that all of you know is that we're cresting that turning point. We've crested it. We are full on in the Aquarian age. And so that big black hole is still right overhead, but moving now so that the galactic light on the other side of it, that we're moving past it. That also is what's causing all of the intensity. It's also going to bring us a lot of gifts because more light equals more information, more ways to grow. So even though the changes that we see right now may scare us a little bit, we aren't really folks that like to change much or move much. It's a potent doorway, and we can use that extra information and wisdom from the Dark Mother to fuel our intentions and really get crystal clear on next step. What do we want to create now? With all, how many of you, I know all of you are of a certain age where you would, in your wildest dreams, go, I wish I was about 20 years younger with all the wisdom I have now. This is kind of like that, where we can start again with all the wisdom we have now and access to a lot more. And really and truly, that was the plan. It's like we're supposed to be doing this. We volunteered to show up right now. So I think all of you will agree that the Virgo full moon with that lunar eclipse was epic. Many of you got to get up and take pictures of it, look at it, hang out with it. All of you probably set intentions. I have a running list. I can't put my hand, there it is, of things I'm still releasing. So you remember that even though the window is, we're kind of right at the halfway point, I'm going to burn this today. But I've just been keeping a total. Oh, I need to release that false belief. And I've just been writing them down so that I'm going to remind my subconscious mind when I burn this thing, they're gone. And those old behaviors need to go with them. That's what that Virgo full moon is really for. It's a clearing out of your inner world so that the outer world can follow. Then today, the sun moves into Aries, and it's the moment of spring equinox. And, we can say, traditionally we say that this creates an overview for the next 3 months of what what things are going to be like. Yes. And Pam Gregory said you should really look at this chart as it's like this is like what the whole year, it kind of lays the groundwork for the whole year with a few, things thrown in, like the Neptune moving into Aries. So it's a great time to plant seeds and to be asking those big questions like, what do you want to grow in your life? What are you ready to release in your life so that you can really start anew? And once again, inside first. So here's the chart. You can see there's lots of trines and squares and all kinds of things. But I want you, and once again, this is not just the chart for today, but the map for what lays ahead for the coming year. So I'm going to show you a couple of things on here. If you look down here, this is how everything is progressing, right? And we'll talk about this little conjunction right here in a minute. This is Neptune and the sun. This happened yesterday where they moved up side by side together. And come the 30th of this month, Neptune's going to cross this threshold and hang out right here. So by that time, the sun is going to be over here, but Neptune is going to hang here for a long time. So this is that piece where we're not going to have this for a while again. So you can see that, and down here, you can see all these folks hanging out together. They call that a daisy chain. We're gonna look at that. So there's a lot of big things happening, and I'm just gonna speak into a few. Let me see, somebody's talking at me. Good question, Betsy. We're gonna talk about that. Betsy asked, what is everybody's kind of scratching their heads going, what does mean? And we don't know. Because we've never experienced it, but I can talk from an astrological perspective and tell you. So Neptune rules Pisces, so rules water. So that big, expansive, unconditional love. And we have been swimming in that watery soup. This time last month, there were a lot more planets down. All of these guys were over here. So all these planets were in Pisces, and I love Pisces. Some people don't. Some people get depressed because it's so emotional and watery, but it always puts me in my heart, and I'm just always I love my life, and you can get lots of really good downloads and la 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 la. Okay, that's the end of the whole circle. That's the end of the cycle. That's number 12. Aries is number 1. And so, and this is water. This is like huge amounts of water. And this is fire. So it's about movement, growth. Um, you know, the first, I always called Aries the first to fight. They're the initiators. They're the ones that they will fight for a cause. They will defend what they love to the death. And they think they know that they're right and everyone else is wrong. And they'll be the first to tell you that. So if you can imagine this big oceanic love, and you can kind of see some of these stories that could play out with this huge amount of water moving into a sign that's going to cause it to defend everything it loves and to come in like a big wave and clear the decks. I will leave the rest to your imagination. And that is why it is so important for us to, yes, alchemy steam, Monica says. So, and then right behind that, Saturn's going to show up in about, I think it's in July, is going to move into that same Aries kind of energy. And Saturn is structure, form, get it right, do the right thing. So suddenly I like to think of these as, the big grandmothers, the big wise wisdom keepers. And suddenly grandma's home and she may not like what she sees, and she's going to clean it up and demand that everyone work with her to do that and create the structure for the next 7 generations and beyond. So that's what's ahead. And that is why I'm so glad all of you are on a call like this and are paying attention, because we don't realize how much we control this. We drive this car by our thoughts, by our intentions or lack of them. Many of us, and you have to remember, yeah, there's a lot of folks paying attention, and there's a lot of folks that think this is a bunch of malarkey and they're just going on like nothing is happening. And so those of us that know have to hold space for all of it and go, this is the direction we're going. And, in my world, we're going there in a peaceful way. We're going there in a loving way. We're going to take care of everyone on this planet and not just the ones we like. And it's like those kinds of intentions, planetary, global, and personal, there's a huge opportunity for us to steer the car. So all of the work that many of you have done for the past year in Source Light School of connecting with your soul, connecting with your big wisdom, and all of you connecting with your big wisdom and intending, and many of you are priestesses. So when you're intending, you're not just intending for you. You're intending for the masses. You're intending for the planet and the animals and the trees and all sentient beings everywhere. This is our moment. The only thing we have and we can't remember this history, but it's recent enough that we know it, is the story of Magdalene and Yeshua, and how they were right in the middle of this kind of turmoil because it was the Piscean shift. They were shifting. The planet was shifting into Pisces. So as that happens, there's a lot of chaos. It looks like the sky is falling, Chicken Little, the sky is falling, it looks like that. And if you let yourself get caught up in that, you will think that. And if you think it right now, the veil is thin enough, the universe will go, okay, and it'll give it to you. So this is where you stop doom scrolling and you start intending, praying, and doing a sit spot. And you let all of the chaos and the programming go. And you stay focused on what it is you came here to do, whatever that looks like. Here's your doorway. So let's look. I wanted to talk about the conjunction with the significance of this. And this really was yesterday that both the sun and Neptune were in Pisces, up until this morning at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, depending on where you live. So that's the last time in our lifetime that they'll both be together in that sign. It symbolizes a powerful opportunity to close old chapters in our lives, let go of things we no longer need, so that we can, and a lot of those things that we're holding on to are going to weigh us down. It's like trying to go on a hike with too much stuff in your backpack. You're going to have to lay it down anyway. So lay it down now so that you have enough energy to move forward and face a clean slate, face what's unknown ahead of us. Because in truth, and truly, I mean, when you think about it, yes, we could kind of guess that tomorrow's going to be similar to today, but none of us are ever guaranteed of that. So right now, it's probably going to be good to travel light. So do that. This can be a kind of and it is an overwhelming time because there's so much change happening. But it's also a chance to be open to new experiences and trust that everything is going to work out as it should. I don't know what I was doing with that sentence. At any rate, the other thing happening in this little piece is that the moon and Juno are in conjunct in Sagittarius. Sometimes, Val, it feels like a tsunami, but it's really not. But it can feel like that for sure. So the moon and Juno, there's lots of really fun things happening here too. I mean, we're looking ahead at what's going to happen, but this is giving us this window of just, any moment you have to just sit in the quiet and go in and meditate and, just let whatever needs to come to the surface, come to the surface. Now's when you need to do that and ask important questions. We could spend the whole day in ceremony today and tonight and tomorrow. So this is about connected, like committed partnerships. It can really support or expand that joy in those partnerships. If you want that to be there. We're going to talk about what it means. This will probably help those of you that wonder what is going to happen when Neptune moves into Aries, because the sun is moving into Aries. And this is, the sun influences us. So this is what that usually looks like. It's going to stay conjunct the sun, Val, until um, they'll gradually move apart because the sun's going to move faster than Neptune is. But for sure, by the 30th of this month, that'll be over. And the sun will be on its way, and Neptune, the sun moves into a different sign every 20, 27, 28 days. So it's going to shift again in next month in May. It'll shift into Taurus. So we don't, this little window isn't going to last very long. But now the sun is in Aries. And so ordinarily, especially if you just look at that and nothing else without these eclipses happening, and hopefully you do feel this. I felt it a little bit. Empowered, awakened, strong, ready to move forward and get things done. If you want to get things done, have an Aries person on your team. They are the get doners. Okay. This can, they can also be real edgy. So you could get a little scratchy with people. So you want to really be careful about that. And this energy is also impulsive. It's just like, let's go, let's do it. I don't care what we're doing. I just need to be doing something kind of energy. That's when mistakes, accidents, all of that can happen. So that's why I say go in, get yourself together first. Then, when you are calm, cool, and collected, go do whatever it is you think you need to do, as long as you have the energy to do it. But once again, make it a priority to make sure that some of that clearing out is inside of you. Aries is also real self-centered. Oh, Sarah, I'm so sorry. Christine. At any rate, they can will feel that way as the sun is in Aries. Aries will feel, it's all about getting our stuff done, and it can help us be very focused, sharp, precise, and take a lead on our own path. It's an excellent time to listen and strategize for what you want in the future. And it's also a great time of opportunity. This is, look at what nature's doing. This is when we plant seeds. It was just like clockwork. How many of you looked up? I was looking at my yard all week last week because it had been so warm here in the Midwest and nothing was budding. And there was this moment of, oh my gosh, you hear silent spring. It's not going to happen. And I swear, just like clockwork, yesterday or the day before, everything is green. I mean, it's not totally green, but you can see the little buds popping out everywhere. So it's all going to grow again. So this, and the earth, we live here, we're part of her energy right now is pushing up, pushing upward. So what do you want to plant? What do you want to grow? Just make sure that you take care of yourself as you do it. You rest, recharge, all of that. Okay. Now let's talk about the daisy chain. Y'all got to quit texting me. I can't see. Every time you do that, thing comes down. So all of those, that little line of planets I showed you, Saturn, the North Node, Neptune, the Sun, Venus, and Mercury, they're all hanging out together and they're close enough together that they form a conjunction with each other. So let's just talk about what they can do. Everybody knows Mercury's in retrograde, so is Venus. So once again, inward movement. Mercury's all about communication, and it's going to help you go in and reflect. If you find yourself just sitting and staring, just say thank you. Don't think there's anything wrong with you. That is happening for a reason. Um, Neptune, spiritual awakening, inspired creativity, inspired creativity, inspired creativity. Take advantage of that right now when you can be quiet. Um, you know, many people are talking about how dreams are even keeping them up at night. That is Neptune. That's going to shift towards the end of the month. Saturn, focused, serious, productive. So that's a good planet to have in that little lineup. It's like it can help you build the structures, because it's focused on the future, focused on the next 7 generations. So, what is the legacy you want to leave? Plan that now with the support of all these guys. Venus and Neptune are hanging out together in Pisces for just a little. Well, actually, Venus is out of Pisces. She's in Aries now. But it's like both of them are very close. So they can help you be creative, and they can also work on things that we all care about on this planet, which is creativity, relationships, and finances. The means, the financial means to put things into motion. And they can help you blend easily with your higher self. And so if you work with those folks as a team, you can, the North Node helps you get in alignment with your sacred purpose. Venus, Neptune, and Mercury are all about supporting growth and outward movement, except we're going to have to do the inner first. Now, Venus is going to come out of her retrograde probably in about 3 weeks. Mercury's going to come out at the first part of April. And then we can slowly creep out the door. But we have a window of opportunity, right? To sit down, plan, and get clear. There's also a T-square with the moon in Ceres and Jupiter. So this is like, what do you need? Jupiter's, what do you need? Just tell me what you need and I'll give it to you. Like I said, lots of opportunity. Jupiter is the ancient great benefic. I think that's how you say that. But it's the luckiest planet in the sky. And the moon was in Sag. So Ceres is the grain goddess, the goddess of harvest. So all of that spells abundance. So think about, okay, here's where I want to go, or here's where I'm guided to go. And let's plan. We can plan things, set up a structure. And this is what I need to enact that plan. All this time is for is to just lay that out. And as you're laying it out, all of those old voices that used to talk to you and say, oh, but I can't because, and this isn't going to happen. That's what you're supposed to be letting go of in these eclipses so that you can. So I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to give you some time to write. So you want to consider these questions. Are you living your life purpose? And are there things you need to release in order to do that? Are your relationships supportive of your life purpose? Is there old trauma in the way of living your life purpose? Notice this life purpose thing's coming up a lot. It's because of that North Node. What do you need to heal? What new beginnings do you want to create in your life? And remember, this is a real new beginning, clean canvas. It's like the wind is going to come and blow everything away, and you're going to have to start over. What do you want to start over? Where's your focus? Focus is everything. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to journal with those. You all are working so hard. I can see the smoke coming out of your ears. I'm going to give you another minute. I am too. I'm going to keep writing, but I'm going to start with the card pull soon. And you can just keep going. So as you're writing, you want to be thinking about what you want to plant in the new seed bed of creation. Because it is upon us again, folks. So I'm going to show you the cards I pulled and read them, but you can just keep writing if you want, which all of them are very, very appropriate for right now. Sustainable planning for the future. What does mean? One of the huge things we learn from the physical world is the right use of resources. We've been given so many wonderful gifts. There are sustainable, practical ways to use them and have plenty, both for those of us here now and for generations in the future. However, the pace of our society, materialism, capitalisms, and many other isms have caused the resources of this planet to dwindle and the quality of our lives to diminish in the process. Clean slate. Now is the time to begin to rethink how we use our resources, how we plan for the future in a way that works for our children and our children's children. In your personal world, where do you need to rethink your sustainable future? Your money or business, perhaps? Is the quality of your life you're living now actually going to be sustainable in the future? Is the pace that you are working now, actually, I should ask myself this question, actually going to be sustainable in the future? So talk to mom, talk to the Earth Mother, ask her for help. How can you begin to rethink and begin to plan sustainably? Mm. And, this couldn't have been more perfect either. In the water door, I pulled clear, clean, and current. The definition of water's job with our emotions, or this is the definition of water's job with our emotions. And it helps everything about emotional healing make sense. Um, Water is the element that behaves like our emotions, or rather, our emotions behave like water. Water in its purest, most delightful form is clear. And clear water flows and sparkles and reflects and magnetizes all the beautiful things we love about water. When our emotions are clear, we feel good, we're happy, there's flow and light in our lives. Clean water is life giving and life affirming. And likewise, when our emotions are clean, we have more energy and more light to share with others. The current of the water carries it to its destination. Likewise, if we have all of our emotions current in current time, which means we're not hauling baggage from the past, stories, all the stuff, then our life flows to its highest and best destination with efficiency and even grace. So, where do you need to get your emotional waters clear, clean, and current? In the air door, I pulled intention. Intention is the tool we use to drive the car of creation. We literally focus our actions and behaviors by directing ourselves toward our desired outcome through intention. So intention isn't a hard, it's not like a goal, even though it may include goals. It is just like we're going to turn the current of our lives in this direction. So even though words are the most common way we state our intention, our actions are also ways we speak to the universe about our intentions. So we have to, move our actions into alignment with where we say we want to go. And, you know, that's the human dilemma most of the time. Intentions need to be simple, positively stated, forward moving, direct, and to the point. And so there's also an example. You might have a goal to lose 20 pounds, and an intention around that could be, I intend to walk every day and release sugar in order to lose 20 pounds. It gives you some parameters. So think about where you need to be more precise and clear with your intentions, both in your words and your actions. And fire, energize. Fire is pure energy in motion. It can bring energy and life force to any situation. This is where we get the phrase light a fire under them. And, we're in the fire door. Fire can literally cause anything to move and move quickly. What needs to be energized in your life? Where do you need more energy to move you forward? How can fire help you energize your creations? Where do you need more movement? Ask, and these are consciousness. We know the elemental, the physical form of them, but when we're working with them in the wheel, I don't have a fire burning over here. But fire, the presence of fire, the consciousness of this energy is here. Make it help you. Ask fire to help you energize your actions, and keep them focused to move your projects forward. And then in the spirit door, which I thought this was very timely as well, as within, as above, so below, as within, so without. When we speak of the spirit realm, we speak to the unseen, the force of consciousness that we cannot totally know, but we all have a piece of it. We brought it with us in our soul. Sometimes referred to as ether, this realm can be understood as an unseen substance that thinks. We can impress thoughts into this substance, and it creates from that information. When we consider as above, so below, we're speaking of the idea that is ever happening in our own unseen realm, the mind. It's also whatever we're conjuring in our heads, our thoughts, that's happening in our physical realm. we're literally pulling it in. Likewise, whatever we're holding within us, in our hearts, what we're feeling, will outpicture outside of us. So it's always good for us to take inventory when this is a great time to do it of our life and look at it through a different lens. When you see something in your world you don't want, ask yourself, what are you holding in your mind and your heart that's causing that to show up in your outside world? Is it time to make an adjustment in your as above and as within so you can see a difference in your so below and so without? So sometimes I do light infusions in here um, as we're moving into this new land, this new time. If you don't have a tool to help you connect with your soul, bring in more light, heal your body, this is a tool that you can use and you can learn how to do it on yourself. So that is going to happen again. I think I taught it last year at about this time. I did because there was a slide in the slide deck. Um, it happened earlier. So about a year ago, I taught this. I'm going to teach it again for all of you newbies. If you're interested, it's happening in a couple of weekends, the first weekend in April. Well, actually, Friday and Saturday in April, the first one. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out in the email and the website. So take a moment now. You've been writing and writing and writing and writing. Set an intention for today, for the spring equinox. What, and you may not have time. You may have lots of intentions. I encourage you to sit with this for a while, but maybe set an overall intention so that we can dance it in. So hopefully you've had a little bit of time to get a little more clear. Like I said, you're going to have a little window to really do the big push, but if you aren't going to have time to do that, you can do it right now. So write down an overall intention and we're going to dance it in. And all of you that just cut out when we dance, don't do that today. Dance this in. move your body, engage the elements, and get the help you came for. It's not just information. This is a ceremony. Here we go. Till tomorrow, Val. You have 48 hours. Yes, 48 hours, Val. That's what I said. All right. So you did it. You all stayed. You danced your intentions in. Yay. Good for you. So, and you're welcome, Betsy. You're welcome to all of you. It helps me as much as it helps you, y'all. So thank you. Thank you all for being here. And thank you for doing the work. When we do this, this is how we shift it. So, whether you do it with me or someone else, keep doing it. I give such great thanks to the elemental forces for holding space for us today. I give thanks for these beautiful souls that are committed to doing their sacred work on the planet. And I close this circle in the light. All right, loves. Until we meet again next week, because there's another eclipse. So I'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kathy.